Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first in a series of 4 webinars talking about literacy supports for remote learning. We're glad you're with us today. We have Karen Janowski, who's going to be our presenter for this half hour. She does have a link up on the screen right now to the slides, which are bit.ly/RSOL4820. And that is case sensitive, so make sure you use capital letters for that too. I'm glad to be with you today. Karen, if you could flip me to the next slide. Uh-oh. There we go. That's me. I'm the director of the Assistive Technology Advocacy Center, and we are hosting this series of webinars. And I'm excited to be here. I'm actually only going to be on mic and on camera for the first minute or so. I was just telling people before we started that I have some construction happening in my house right now, so it's a bit loud. We actually got a really nice quiet moment. I'm just kind of enjoying it for a second.
You were warning us, Mike. Yeah. I don't hear anything.
No, it's actually
is it a lunch break?
It's really good, actually. But we're excited to have you guys here. When the webinar's finished today, we will take the recording and post it to our YouTube channel. So if you registered for the webinar, which you did, we'll send you a link to where the video lives. But if you want to do a search on YouTube, our YouTube channel is EdTech NJ. And that's where it'll live. Would you please share the URL address in the chat, please? Yes, Jody, we will share the URL to the slides in the chat.
There it is again.
Yeah, thank you, Jody. And then also, and then they are right there on the slide as well. And you're doing a nice job of using the chat already, so please make sure you keep using the chat to participate throughout. And ask questions and comments and whatever, and Karen and I will follow the chat as we move through the half hour, and Karen will leave some time to answer some questions. And Karen, those were my 3 slides, so I will introduce you and say welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here. And so here's what Mike just talked about. Please leave anything, any questions, comments, ideas, strategies. We are all learning from each other, especially during this unprecedented time when who knows what is going to happen next. So here's a little about me. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm the president of EdTech Solutions Incorporated. This is a private practice of assistive technology and inclusive technology consulting. And we provide services in the greater Boston area. My email address is karen.janowski@gmail.com, and my Twitter address is @KarenJan. Mike and I host an AT chat on Wednesday nights, and I hope some of you will join us tomorrow night if you never have. So the other thing I'd love to do is just ask you what you do and where you are from, and just leave it in the chat. I'm going to try to monitor the chat as much as possible while I'm doing the presentation. But it's just great to have you all here. We've got 35 participants. That's excellent. So let's go. So our goals for today are, we want to briefly consider the research which continues to inform the reading wars. There has been so much out in the public on NPR, in the Atlantic about the reading wars. And no matter what, I'm not sure that it will ever be resolved. I'm hoping is that you will learn some new ways to support, to provide reading support services in this unprecedented time. And I'm hoping too that you'll think of some new ways to do what you've already been doing, or just think innovatively. So I'm just looking to see, oh, we've got an SLP, teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing, AT cut, oh, Laura Dean, awesome, great having you all here. So moving on. One of the things, why do we even care about about teaching reading? Even those of us who are involved as special educators in the role of assistive technology, or whatever our role is. This statistic is shocking. Only 35% of 4th graders and only 34% of 8th graders perform at or above proficient in reading, according to the NAEP. And these percentages, this is information that came out of the NAEP reading assessment that was administered in 2019. These percentages were even lower than in 2017. This is the 2019 version. If you're interested to learn more, you can click on this link right here to learn more about NAEP and the more specific results. The other thing is, what that means is, since the 1990s, it's been pretty consistent. 27 to 34% of fourth graders read below a basic level. That is pretty shocking and pretty surprising. And it means we really do have our work cut out for us. And specific learning disabilities is the largest category under IDEA. And of that percentage, 80 to 85% have reading problems. So the need is great. The perspectives that we can offer as people and advocates of inclusive technology can really be helpful. So the other thing about what we want to think about when we think about the reading wars, again, I was looking up even more recent information just when I was developing this webinar. And again, everything I was reading, everyone said, with certain articles will say, well, a category like supports the use of a phonics and synthetic phonics versus analytic phonics approach, or others will say a combination, and others will say we really need our students to be engaged in the reading, and guided reading is the best way. So the, oh good, Nancy, oh, Nancy Shepardson is here. Have you, you will keep adding information, because Nancy Shepardson, Nancy, I'm going to highlight your involvement. Nancy is the research technology specialist for the Wilson Reading Program. And she is an outstanding resource, and I'm sure that she will offer some additional resources. Please feel free to offer some additional resources in the chat, Nancy. So the other thing too that we cannot exclude this factor is motivation. How motivated, no matter what approach we use with students. And the role of technology in increasing motivation has been identified and recognized. And so what we want to do with this webinar is talk about how some of the online resources that can help support our students in learning foundational skills necessary for reading. So in thinking about this, I was trying to come up with what are the current remote learning options. And this is a list I just came up with. And if you can think of others, please drop them into the chat. Because we've got the traditional methods, which to me include paper packets that some teachers are mailing home to students or dropping them off. Another option is online options. So one way to think about online options is when the teacher is doing the instruction using video conferencing or sharing their screen. Another one is teacher-led instruction with the shared screen so that the student is part of it as well. The next option is teacher-led instruction, and then the student responds on their device to something that the teacher has instructed them to do. Another option is the teacher assigns the work, the student uses the device to complete the work, and then shares it using another resource like Seesaw, which I will talk about. They'll share it through email using a screenshot or the data collection that is built into the program itself. So those were just some of the options that I identified when we think about remote learning options. Does anyone else have any other ideas or other online options that haven't been included here? Please feel free to add. All right, well, if we're in agreement about these are some of the options for remote learning in the time of the coronavirus. So one of the tools I'd like to start off with is something called, I'm going to address Phonics tools first. And there are a number of tools, and I just focused on just a handful of Phonics tools that I thought would be really easy to implement in as a part of remote learning. One of them is called Remote Bear. And you'll notice that when you put your cursor, whoops, about that. When you cursor, if you're following along at home on your own device, that the links have been embedded in the images. So this one is called Reading Bear, and if you click on it, it will take you immediately to the website. And it is by the Watch Know Learn organization, which is an outstanding organization. And what they are focused on is first learning the letter sounds. So there's a whole structured program that teaches you the letter sounds in a sequence that Reading Bear has identified is the way that they would like to implement that. They also, so I will go to the website and we'll wait for it to load in, just so you can see. So this one, great question, Michelle. Reading Bear is free. And here's what it looks like. Have a video. So first learn the letter sounds. So you can take a quiz. You can see where you are, at what level you are at. So here they have a review of all the vowel sounds. Then they start with some of the consonants. Then they start with blends. They start with digraphs. So it is all in order. So, and it's a completely free program that you could help the students follow through with on their own. They're reviewing. Nancy, do you have any thoughts about the Reading Bear website? I'd love to hear your input. So look how many organized, complete, and comprehensive it is. Still scrolling down. So here you go. That's a completely free option. Oh, you haven't seen it. Okay. So you have a login, there's some training videos, and you can learn how to get started. That's one option. Let me go back to my, where is my, I'm sorry, let's find, here we go. Okay. So Reading Bear may be something that you want to help families get started with. That's one option. Another option is Headsprout. And currently Headsprout, actually it is a paid subscription. And it's also by the company that does Learning A to Z. But they, as part of the desperation of making sure that parents and families get access to the tools they need, they are making Headsprout available for free for the rest of the year. And this link will take you to that free 90-day enrollment. And it is an adapted curriculum. It focuses on phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, basic vocabulary, and it adapts to the level that the students are on. So that is another option. The next one is Pocket Phonics. So Pocket Phonics is an iOS app, and it teaches letter sounds, first words, and handwriting. One of the things that it does, it's $6.99. One of the things that it does do is it also offers you some data collection. So you don't have to be with the student when they are working on this particular app on their on the school supplied device. And so this would be one of the things that if you're sending home iPads to your students, you would want to ensure that Pocket Phonics is one of the options that is available for the student to try out. I'm going to just see if I can include here. I'm going to try to share, let me see, my iPhone, my iPad, so that you can get a sense of what Pocket Phonics looks like. Pocket Phonics. I think the data collection makes it a really nice tool to use, especially when you can't always be with the students, and especially when you want to see how the student is working. So I'm going to now share my iPad. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I have to connect to Verizon. Okay. And all right, let's go back to the screen. For some reason, it is not here. Let me just see. I keep getting an error message. Okay, back to the presentation. And I do need to stop sharing that. We'll share the desktop. I'll have to, next time I do this, I'll have to see what is the issue with hold on just a second. I'm finding what happened to my presentation.
Yeah, we still see it, Karen. I don't know if it's frozen, but we're still seeing
Oh,
it
you
live.
do see it? You see my presentation?
Yeah,
Okay.
I see Phonics Tools.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening on my end. There's always glitches, right?
That's right. This darn technology every time. Oh, that looks better.
It looks better?
Well, it's
Okay.
better because it's not frozen anymore.
Okay. I don't have my, okay, I'm just gonna have to go back into Google Drive and open up because I don't see the presentation.
No, we don't either now. We see what you're seeing now.
Okay, all right, so we'll get back up to speed and we'll pull up that slide presentation again. So yeah, Mike, I was trying to connect my iPad and as well.
I started crossing my fingers the minute you said you were going to do that because I did that last week and crashed my whole computer.
Oh, well, maybe that's what happened here again. Okay, so we'll just open it up. We'll keep going. Sorry about that. You know, it always happens, and I always like to say, because there's always glitches with technology, and I always say that we model, no one models glitches better than I do. And I think it's important for us to see that there are these glitches. So now I'm just waiting for it to load in because it's loading in very slowly. And any questions in the meantime? Let me just see. Sometimes on the Mac, I need to stop share and share. Okay. Or maybe force finger swipe. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for the next time. Thank you, Jessica. All right, and we'll flip through these slides again. Okay, and all right. So Mike, we get to see you again. Here we go. Let's go. We'll keep going.
That in itself is a bonus right there. I didn't know you were going to get to see me again. What a bonus. Okay. Don't forget your
that
captions.
was Pocket Phonics.
Don't forget the captions. Captions.
And the caption.
All right, I'm muting
Here
again.
we go. Okay, caption should be on. There we go. All right. So another app that works very well is Word Wizard. And you can see the price for this one is $3.99. What's wonderful about this is I know a lot of people that do OG and Wilson use the a magnetic cookie sheet and with the letters, and they manipulate the letters using a cookie sheet or whatever else there is, a magnetic board. But and Word Wizard is a talking, movable alphabet. You can ask students to manipulate the sounds within the word, so it actually can also build on phonics and phonemic awareness skills. So here's an example right here of what I did. So I asked the students, say map, now change map to mop. And as they're moving these letters, they hear the sound of the letter. They don't hear the letter name itself. The big thinking in terms of a phonics-based approach is connecting sounds to the written symbol. And so that's what's wonderful about Reading Bear and Pocket Phonics and Word Wizard. You are matching, you are connecting the sound to the written symbol. And one of the things that's really nice about it too is it also includes consonant digraphs and vowel digraphs as well. If you click on this screen right below here, it gives you some numbers, but it also gives you some other options between just an alphabet board, which is a really nice feature. You have a lot of capabilities with this. There's word lists. There's you can customize your own word lists. You can work on vocabulary. You can delete everything that's on the screen. You can set whether it's all uppercase or lowercase. And again, the thinking is when students are first learning the sound symbol relationships is to have it be a lowercase alphabet as well. So another option to explore, it is $3.99. You could be projecting that on your own device as you're sharing your screen or sharing just your video with your students and have them hear things as you're manipulating them. Or you could ask them to tell you what you would like them to do. The other option is if you have installed this app on students' home iPads, you could then ask them to take screenshots of some of the ways that they have manipulated sounds. You could also ask them, rhyming is an important part of phonemic awareness. It's one of the beginning levels of understanding phonemic awareness. You could ask them to create a list of words that rhyme, consonant, vowel, consonant, CVC words. So, and then have them take a screenshot and share that with you. So there's a lot of different ways that you could think about using this type of app in a remote learning environment. Add any other thoughts as you're thinking about them too. Next, what I want to do is talk quickly about how we can build comprehension skills in a time of remote learning. Anyone using ReadWorks? I don't see any response in the chat. So what I would love to do is show you ReadWorks. And one of the options, oh, some of you, okay, yes. Okay, now I'm seeing it come through. One of the options is this article a day set. And what it is, it's trademarked. It's a 10-minute daily routine. And they have found that it does increase students' background knowledge, because one of the most important things to understand in building comprehension is the importance of background knowledge and background vocabulary. So the use of something like ReadWorks is very possible in this time of remote learning because it is an online tool and it does include some assignments. Any of you in the chat who are saying yes, you're using it, are you using the article a day sets? Have you assigned them to your students? That's the beauty of it. It's actually, Micaiah asked what level. So I'll take you to the website. And it is K through 12. And I will log in, remove this. I want to log, okay, actually good, I'm already logged in. So I've got to move some of these things around. So I'm going to go to find content. And again, this is a free tool. This is a free, awesome tool. And so we can go to article a day sets, we can go to reading passages. They have a lot of curriculum supports. They have human voiced audio, but if we go down here, it shows that there's K through 12. So if I go into the article a day sets, I can explore by topic, but I can also explore by grade level. So let's say I want some article a day sets for grade 3. And here, somebody mentioned about Lexile level. So here it does include Lexile level, it does include grade, it does include how many words are in the passage. And so you can get the grade 3 sets, fireflies in the garden, whatever, all topics. You can just do science topics, whatever you would like. And 5 minutes, okay. So This is another option to consider. Especially if you haven't ever explored the article a day sets. I hope that you find that that's helpful. We could look at the 5th grade level, article a day. We'll pull up article a day sets for 5th grade. And here they are, ancient animals and fossils. So let's pull up that set just so you can see. So here are a number of articles that would fit into that category, and they are leveled for 3rd grade. All right. Then the next thing I really want to spend some time on in our last few minutes is the use of Seesaw. To me, Seesaw is the best tool for universal design, and especially for this time of remote learning. Who's using Seesaw? Love to hear about people using it and sharing your ideas in the chat. So Seesaw is an amazing tool that allows students to take a, if you have sent home a paper packet, they can take a picture of it and talk about it when they want to share that with you. You can also upload a number of different activities so that the students don't even have to use a worksheet, because keep in mind, what student has ever said, give me more worksheets ever? Not a big motivational tool. So, oh, and as a parent, that's awesome that you love it. I find that too. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, oh, I did it, okay. I would like to show you Seesaw. And so I'm going to open up Seesaw and show you that you can do at least an hour or more just on the power of Seesaw. So I'm going to, I'm already signed up. It's a free tool. I am going to show you a few of the features of Seesaw. So here's an activity that I've recently downloaded. See this add button? What you can do is you can assign an activity to your students. So it does sync with Google Classroom. So you could import all of your students as one class, or you could have multiple classes. Let's say you're differentiating instruction. So you could have multiple activities within different subsets of students, and they wouldn't even know who's in what group. But it defaults to whatever you have on your library, and you can create your own activities. But what I want to show you, I'm going to go into the community library, and again, we can look for a specific grade level. When I first signed up, I said that I was a 5th grade teacher, and so it always defaults to 5th grade. But I want you to see again, it does all pre-K all the way up to 12th grade and other, and it does all subjects as well. So, but what I want to do right now is I want to pull up some reading fluency activities that other teachers have already created. I don't even have to reinvent the wheel. But let's say you're working on reading fluency, which again is one of the great things that you can do with Seesaw. So I'll click on this activity that another teacher has created. And the reading instruction, the instructions for what the student needs to do are right here. So they can read it. They take a photo of whatever you want reading today, click the record button, and then you select the check mark, and that will be automatically sent into to the teacher. The beauty of this, I'm going to hit share activity, and actually no, what I want to do is I want to favorite this. And now it will be saved to my library. And this is the power of the Seesaw, one of the powers, one of the superpowers. So one of the things I can do, this teacher didn't record their audio instructions. One of the things that I can do is copy and edit this activity, and you will see I can add voice instructions, which to me makes it so powerful, because we are sending home a lot of work that students are unable to read the directions on their own. So what I can do is add those voice instructions so that the parent is unnecessary, and this activity can be done completely independently without parent support, which is really a very powerful option. The other thing, actually, there's so much, and again, we only have, so we'll delete this. I'm going to go back into the community and back into, so I can look up reading comprehension, I can look up phonics work, I can see what other teachers have already created, and I'm going to go back to my class, because what I want you to see before we end, since it's already 12:30, is this add feature, post student work. Look at how students can share what they're doing. They can take a photo, they can draw. And the drawing tool, what I want you to see with the drawing tool is they can now record as they are drawing. How powerful is that? I'm going to go back here. They can record, they can take a video. You can upload activities, you can take notes. So the power of all of these things cannot be overstated when you're thinking about remote learning and reading instruction, because you can share some of your reading packets through this, and it's a much more engaging way than to do a worksheet, because then they can draw in it, they can record their voices, they can take a video. So many options for this. But it is already 12:30, and I did really want to make sure that you saw those tools, which are beginning tools that get you started. I do have a few links to some of the articles that I was looking through in terms of the reading research. But in the final minutes, anyone have any questions or any thoughts? Any ideas that you would love to share? Because again, we're all learning from each other. And again, Mike is asking if there's a webinar topic you'd like to cover. And also you can join the conversation Wednesday night. I mentioned that earlier. The AT chat is every Wednesday night. And we do thank you for participating today.
There was a question, Karen, about Seesaw. Do the students need to individually sign up if they already are in a Google Classroom?
It's a great question. No, because once I'll show you, when you go into Seesaw, and we'll get out of here, and when you create, and again, Seesaw wants you to, all of these tools that I've shown you, they want you to be successful with them. So there's video tutorials online that you can search for. And definitely Seesaw really wants you to be successful, because there's so many layers to it. So if I go here on the top left, and I go into create new class, and here it is, import from Google Classroom, and I can choose my grade level, and now I can import my class. So, and again, I don't have one here to import into, but that is how easy it is. And then students can use the QR code to get into the class. So, other questions? Okay. So people found some of this information helpful. I hope you found at least one new thing that you would like to explore. And if you did, if there's something you're really anxious to explore immediately, can you just put it in the chat? I'm interested to see some of the things that you're interested to explore immediately and how you're thinking that you would use them. So thank you all.
That was great, Karen. Thank you.
Oh, good, Nancy, you're going to try out Reading Bear. Awesome.
Oh,
Seesaw.
awesome.
Excellent. Thank you all. Thanks, Mike, for this opportunity. I look forward to our next session on Thursday.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Can you put the slide back up, Karen, for 1 second so people can see the dates of all four parts?
Oh, okay. The last slide?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Okay. Yep. Let me present it.
Everyone, there's all four parts, the rest of the four parts. And if you visit our website, all the registration links are there. It's at4nj.org/webinars, and it'll get you to all of the registrations for each of the parts of this, which is exciting. So I will make sure to upload this recording to our YouTube channel later today, so it'll be available for viewing. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Gay asked one more question, Karen, before we go. How are you handling FERPA and meeting in groups when you have a specialized class? I think that is a great question that we could probably talk for another half hour about.
And that's something, join our AT town halls on Mondays at 12 o'clock, where we're discussing issues like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why Seesaw works very well, because then you're not in a small group with, because that can be an issue. I think the way some schools are handling it is they're sending out parent permissions, and with the understanding that no one can record what is being during that video session, and it is all in good faith. We're just all trying our best, and I heard Alyssa say yesterday that we're all trying our best with grace and compassion. So whatever that looks like in your town, I think different towns are handling it in different ways. I know that that's not the best answer for you, Gabe, but join us on Mondays at 12 o'clock and during the town hall.
Yes, for sure. Awesome. Very good. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was great to see you all, and thanks for participating. Karen, thank you. That was awesome.
Thanks,
and
Mike.
We'll talk to you later in the week.
Yeah. See
Thanks,
you Thursday.
Everybody. Thanks.